Good morning, children. Hope you all are in good health. So, in the last lecture, we started the chapter number 9, the living organisms and their surroundings. And I gave you homework also. Which homework? Yes, you have to read the chapter. So, hope you all have read the chapter. From the PT2 exam, it was very clear that direct question will not be asked. Question will be from the book. For that you have to do the reading of the book. Without reading you will not be able to solve the other PT exams also. Later on when exam will be there, that will also be the same like this only. So for this thing it is important that you read whole book very carefully, thoroughly go to each and every point and try to make your own notes. Because if you will make your own notes, own questions, then everything will be clear, concept will be clear in your mind, and then you will be able to do all the questions. Okay, so let's begin. So in the last lecture we studied about the environment, the components of environment, biotic components and the abiotic components, and the we studied about the adaptation, we studied about habitat. Two types of habitat are there, terrestrial habitat and the aquatic habitat. Then after that we studied about the adaptation we have done. So this much we have done. And if you haven't watched the video, please go to that this last lecture video and watch that video. It is the beginning of the chapter, so it is important part. Okay, now so today we'll start with the adaptation for the terrestrial habitat. So in the terrestrial habitat, first is desert. So we'll talk about the deserts, how adaptations are there. How adaptation mean the features that will help the plant or animals to survive in that environment. No, now first of all we'll talk about the plants. Now you all know that in the deserts which type of plants are there? Cactus is there. Yes, cactus is there. So in the desert cactus are there, so many more plants species of cactus are there. Okay, so first of all we will study that what are the features in cactus that allow him to survive in the desert. So first of all we'll talk about the characteristics of the cactus plant. So plant have long and deep roots that are the system to reach and draw the underground water. What happens in the cactus? The roots of cactus are very deep. If it is a cactus plant, and the roots of the cactus plant are very deep and they can go some meters also. Okay, they are also meter long, and they can draw out water from these sources, different sources they can water, because in the desert scarcity of water is there. So if plant need water and there is no rainfall also, so what is there, the roots of these plants are very deep underground, so they can take out the underground water from there. So the roots of the plants are very deep. Second one is that some plants have leaves that are modified in the form of spines to reduce the water loss. If you must have seen the cactus plant, in the cactus plant there are needles, like needles are there. Spines are, these spines are needles in the cactus plants. Okay, they pin when we touch it, they hurt us. Yes or no? So spines are there, long needle like spines are there. So what they do, they prevent the water loss. We all know that from the surface of leaf the process of transpiration occur. If this is a leaf, from this surface the process of transpiration occur, and in this water loss is there. So if the leaves will be in the shape of needle, then small amount of respiration will be transpiration will be there, not that much as compared to these leaves. So these leaves are modified in the form of spine to reduce the water loss. Now after this, it is the stem is modified to perform the function of photosynthesis. Now as we have already studied that the leaves perform the process of photosynthesis. leaves perform the process of photosynthesis, but in the case of these cactus, the stem of the cactus plant perform the process of photosynthesis. It is very important that which part? Stem perform the photosynthesis, not leaves of cactus plant. Only the stem of cactus plant perform the process of photosynthesis. And you all know photosynthesis, the process of preparing the food for the plants. Now fourth one, deserts plants are usually coated with the waxy coating to prevent water loss. And these desert plants are covered with a waxy coating outside these, so that the minimum amount of water water loss will be there. Now let's talk about the desert animals. Now desert animals such as rat, snakes, spend hot days inside the ground and under the burrow to escape the heat. These small animals like rats and snakes, they generally lives inside the burrow during the daytime, and they comes out during the night time only, because in the daytime it is very hot, they cannot survive outside. So they just go down under the ground, they form holes under the ground and they reside there only, so to stay cool there. And at the night time when the temperature is down, they come out. And these animals don't need that much of water, because in the kangaroo is also there. So kangaroo produces its own water inside the body. When he eat food, then water is produced inside its own body, so he don't require much water. So he can easily survive in the desert. Now the camel, as you can see, camel is also known as the ship of the desert. Yes, camel is known as the ship of the desert. Now we'll study about the adaptive features of camel. Camel is one of the animals that survive in the desert. So what are the characteristics of camel that enable them to survive in desert? We'll study. First of all, camel also called the ship of the desert. This we have studied. Now camels has long and thick eyelashes. The eyelashes of camels are very thick and very long. Why they are long and thick? So that when the sand will be there, sand dunes will come, that will not be able to enter the camel's eyes, and it can close it or open it. So when the sand will come, so it will not be able to enter the camel's eyes. That's why the camel's eyelashes are very long and thick. Yes or no? Now after this, it can close its nostrils to keep sand from entering the nose. Nostrils you all know from where this air enters our nose. So these nostrils, a camel can close these nostrils like this, not with hand, but it can close it so that the sand cannot enter the nostrils. So eyelashes are big, because so that sand will not be able to enter the eyes. Nostrils, he can close the nostrils so that the sand will not enter the nose, and the hot air also will not enter the nose. The long legs keep the camel at a suitable height from the hot desert. The long legs of the camel, you all know camel is having the long legs. So long legs of the camel help him to stay away from the ground, hot ground. Sand is very hot, so that long legs help camel to stay away from the hot sand. That's why these legs of camel are long. It has thick padded feet that enable it to walk on sand. Feet means feet of animals. These camel are very spongy type, padded. They are padded so that it can easily walk on the soft sand. Okay. After this, A camel can drink enormous amount of water at a time that can last for a long time. Enormous means large amount of water. So a camel can drink a large amount of water, almost 200 liters of water in a single drink. So he can drink a lot of water in at a time, and that can be stored in his body. The hump of camel is actually the stored fat that are gradually used up during the long journey. Now camel's hump, you all know what is camel hump. This portion, this evaluated portion here is a hump. It is like this. So hump of a camel, inside this what is stored? Fat is stored inside this hump. Yes, inside this hump fat is stored, and this fat is, we have studied in previous chapters that fat also provides us energy. Yes or no? So as fat provides us energy, so this fat that is stored in camel is used to give energy for long journeys. When there is no food, at that time the camel use this fat and take energy. Okay, and when this fat will be decreased, so this hump will also be flat like this. When the fat is stored, it will become like this. Then when fat will go, it will be again like flat. Now it has thick skin to keep the heat away, and the skin skin of camel is also very thick. Thick, it is very thick, so that the heat cannot affect its body. These are the adaptive features of camel, means how a camel can survive in the desert. So now let's talk about the polar and mountain region. Polar and mountain region, these are regions where the snowfall is there. So these habitats are commonly very cold and windy, means wind is normal in these areas, and during the winter season, ice is also common. Snow will be there. The plants and animals found in hilly areas include yak, mountain goat, sheep, polar bear, and penguin. These are general animals found in these areas. These are high altitude areas. Adaptive features of plant. Now how these plants survive in these climatic condition? In these areas, the climate, these plants are having the conical shape, like cone like shape. They are having the cone like shape. Why they are having cone like shape? So that when the snow will fall, the snow will slide easily from these plants. The snow will slide. If these are plants are like this, so when the snow will fall, the snow will come down from here very easily. It will not be settled on its branches, so it will just come down, slope down very easily. So that's why they are having the conical shape. The leaves of have a needle like shape, are waxy, are covered with wax coating, and it leaves are also like this needle like leaves. They are, it is having a needle like leaves, so that slide these snow can slide easily. Okay, and they are also having a waxy coating on them. Now adaptive features of the animals living in these areas, mountain and polar regions. We all know that those animals which are found in the polar region or the mountain region, they are having a big hairs on their body, so that they can protect their body from the heat. So they have thick skin to protect them from the cold. For example, yak have long hair to keep them warm. Snow leopard and polar bear have thick fur too on their body. You can see here polar bear and the yak. Now the penguin, the mountain goat has strong hooves for running on the rocky slopes of the mountain. The mountain goats are specially made like this. They are not, means they are by nature that, so they are having the features that they can easily walk up the mountain and down the mountain. Their hooves are toes. Hooves are very strong, and they can easily climb up and climb down up the mountain. Now penguins have a oily layer of oil outside their body, so their body will be not wet by this water. Penguins have oily and waterproof feathers in addition to a layer of fat under their skin. They are having a layer of fat under their skin, and their outer covering is also oily and waterproof. Okay, so these are the features that make them to survive in these polar and mountain regions. Hope you all understood this. So please go through the topic in the book also and read that and make your own notes. Okay, till then, take care and Sai Ram.